Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
Yeah. I didn't really prepare anything, but I just kind of want to get your guys' opinion on a few different things. First of all,
Okay.
I wanted to ask, what do you guys think of ghosts? What do you guys think of haunted houses and, these claims that people make?
Well, I know for me, haunted houses have always been kind of a fascination. I mean, when I was a much younger old person, I would watch, the ghost hunting shows. What was it, Ghost Hunters? I'd watch that. What other one, hun? Ghost Adventures. Like I've watched all of the ghost hunting shows. And I watch them now, especially because they're utterly hilarious. Especially there's they're like the Tennessee Wraith Hunters or something. Just imagine this very southern redneck group of ghost hunters, and they just really play it up for the camera. Like they'll get inhabited or influenced by a ghost, and they'll just like freak out during it and everything. And they really play it up. But I mean, how I feel about haunted houses is, one, I'm not going to go there, to a haunted house. I mean, as much as I laugh at the supernatural claims of the ghost hunting shows and ghost hunters in general, I'm still not going to go to a house like that because I don't know if there's a Michael Myers guy there. I don't know if there's just somebody hiding in the rafters that's going to pop down like freaking Batman or something. I don't believe that they're really inhabited by ghosts. I think that there could be other like natural explanations. Like that's the one reason why I really liked Ghost Hunters, or at least appealed to my analytical nature, is that they actually went in to try and disprove that it was like a haunting type situation, or disprove. They would try to find alternate explanations, and they would often cite like places that had exposed wires and had these high electromagnetic readings and stuff like that, and how that affects your, how you perceive things and stuff like that. Ultimately, though, they were still as kind of ridiculous as these other shows, just a little bit less so. But I don't think that like the haunted houses or anything like that are really all that haunted. I feel like that there are some unexplained things, but just because you can't explain it does not automatically mean like supernatural. I think that
right, and that was going to be my next question. Was like, what do you think we can do to like test these claims? Like, can we get a group of people and go in there and like record, like actually legitimately do it, like not a TV show, not like what you see on TV, like a legitimate scientific crew to go in there and like try to get evidence that ghosts are real? Like, what would be your way of going about proving that? Like, how would we do that, in your opinion? Or is there a way? Or is there not a way?
Josh, I kind of took the lead on the last one. Do you have any ideas about this?
You can't turn this one over to me. Science is certainly not my field. I leave it to the engineer to explain this. Go for it, John.
Okay. All right. I just didn't want to leave you out. Okay.
No, you're good.
So how I would go about doing it is you'd have to rule out anything that can be explained with pareidolia. Because pareidolia not only happens visually, like with, maybe you got cracks in a mirror that make you think that you see something weird or something, but it also happens with auditory things, like with the white noise, a lot of time, which, I mean, a lot of these shows, like especially Ghost Adventures, they use EMP, electro, not EMP, sorry.
Magnetic pulse.
EMF. Well, it's when they have the white noise playing, and then they hear a voice in the white noise. Can't remember what that's called.
Oh, the the soul box or the speaker box or something like that? Like some type of box.
But there's electronic voice no, it's not.
Yeah, I can't think of
EVP.
Yeah.
Electronic voice phenomena. It's where you record white noise and then you hear a voice in the white noise, and that's supposed to be like the voices of the ghosts or whatnot. I feel like most of those cases can be lumped in with pareidolia, because if you'll notice on the ghost hunting shows and everything, what you have is that they will sort of let you listen to it and you're like, I don't hear anything, and then they put words to it so that you can recognize it, and then yeah, exactly. And so I mean, I always laugh at that, and you see the memes going around everywhere about how, like, oh, they're in a 17th century castle and they're speaking modern English, but it's like in I don't know, Spain or something, and it's like, oh, but they're speaking English, anyways. So I think you'd have to rule out anything that can be explained away with pareidolia. They also do the flashlights that they sort of put in a way that can be easily manipulated. But I feel like in those instances you can explain that naturally just through how electronics work and electricity works. I would think that you would definitely need like, I guess, video cameras, but at the same time, video cameras are subject to pareidolia. It would be really hard for me to say like what would be a good scientific test for the supernatural, because there's just so many. Like, if we were to find out that the EVPs were legit, like this is a disembodied voice that was not heard anywhere or anything like that, there could be some kind of natural thing that happens that causes that to happen. And so, I don't know exactly what the standards would be in order to test it. But I just would
be kind of difficult to. I would say it'd be kind of difficult, like you were saying, to kind of to prove it in general, especially when it comes to
and I mean, I really think that's kind of due to the fact that we're limited in our human experience. For instance, I think that there's like an absolute truth to reality. Like, there's an absolute truth as to what events happen and what events don't. But I think that due to our own human experience, we will never know what that absolute truth is. And I think it's a similar situation for the supernatural, is that, I don't know what we would need in order to show a suspension of the natural order of reality. And I'm not exactly sure if we'll ever be able to know. So I guess I'm just agnostic on it.
Right. And one more supernatural thing I wanted to bring up, and that was magic, like witchcraft and stuff like that. Now, when people say, "Oh, I'm a witch," I can cast spells and stuff like that we can actually test. We can get X amount of witches and X amount of subjects and have them cast spells on those subjects and test each outcome. Right? That would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? Do you think that would work?
Oh, well, so right now I feel like it would be kind of a waste of money. I don't really believe in magical words or anything like that. But I mean, of course there have been studies done on like whether or not prayer works. I mean, I don't think it'd be out of the realm of reason, a reasonable scientific study. But I don't think that we would find that, the witchcraft stuff works. I think that it would just be, finding that it doesn't work. And as far as witches go and stuff like that, I remember as a youngin, like 20 years old is what I'm calling a youngin in this case. I had somebody tell me that, like, oh, you just don't even understand. I went to this party one time with this psychic vampire, and I totally felt all of his vibes. And I find like claims of witches and I guess psychic vampires. It makes me laugh a little bit. But I also probably wouldn't laugh at somebody to their face about it. But I don't know. I feel like I went off on a weird tangent here. But ultimately, I don't think that a witchcraft experiment would render anything useful other than something we already know, and that would be that witches don't actually cast magical spells.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's probably about it.
Okay. This was a very unique question. I appreciate the call and all the questions in the discussion.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye, Josh, John. Have a good one.
Take care.
Hey, you have a good night, man, and we'll talk to you again soon, all right?
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right, bye. Okay. What did you think about that, Josh? I mean, I know I kind of took over. I didn't really give you a chance to respond to some of that.
No, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I think, there's a difference between testing for, whether we can generate an outcome and therefore there's something valid about it, and testing to explain. So, I think it was, in a debate that I heard with Tom Jump, he said, I'd be convinced of the existence of a God if you would pray to that particular deity and say, produce a gold brick here in my lab. And then you prayed and a gold brick was produced. And then tomorrow you prayed and another gold brick was produced, and so that would offer, more substantial evidence, perhaps, assuming that there wasn't, some gold brick dispensary. I don't know that was able to do that, but that would be determining the validity of or the existence of whatever's causing that phenomenon. But I don't know if it explains the mechanism or the actual the mechanism, the process by which that's taking place. So you might be able to say there's something here if you could do that, not suggesting that could be done, and I think that was your point. But I don't think that explains the mechanism by which it or how that process takes place, how that conclusion is brought about.
Yeah. Also, I would definitely not pray for the gold bullion to be dropped in my lap, because I want to protect that area. I feel like it's very important. Also, I don't think Tom Jump would want it to destroy his chair, because how else is he going to have these debates?
Good call. Good call.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.